Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. 2 health workers in Guyana charged for selling vaccination cards. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Thursday, 9th December 2021. Details when we return.
Conveniently located in the Grand Anne Shopping Centre, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grandans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Welcome back. 2 nurses and a health worker have been arrested and charged in Guyana for selling vaccination cards to unvaccinated Guyanese. More in this News Source Guyana report with Gordon Mosley.
2 nurses attached to the Diamond Health Center in the East Bank of Demerara and the screening personnel attached to the Ministry of Health were today charged with fraud over their alleged sale of COVID-19 vaccination cards. The 3 healthcare workers were nabbed last week during a police sting operation after investigators received information about the racket of the nurses selling the vaccine cards to persons who were unvaccinated. Those charged today were 21-year-old nurse Olivia Bonus, 29-year-old nurse Tanika Pollard, and 32-year-old Ministry of Health screening personnel Andel Valentine. They were each granted bail to the tune of $150,000. The sale of the cards reportedly took place over a 9-month period, dating back to early March when the vaccination process in Guyana was getting started. The news source understands that 2 forged cards were recovered during the sting operation, and investigators suspect that hundreds of cards may have been sold by the trio during the past months. One of the nurses reportedly admitted to selling more than 50 vaccination cards at a cost of $5,000 per card. The 3 are expected back in court in the new year. There have been a number of other healthcare workers charged in recent months over the sale of vaccination cards. The Ministry of Health is very concerned about the sale of the vaccination cards. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, during his COVID-19 update today, said it is a very serious offense, since it is also intended to mislead the health authorities about the vaccination status of a person. He made it very clear that those found guilty of the crime will be fired by the Ministry of Health.
So if anybody is guilty, they would have to deal with the penalties that is in our law. So that's the first thing. The second thing, however, because it's also a breach of professional conduct. And nurses are guided by our nursing laws. And again, we would be taking stringent actions by sending this information to the Nursing Council for them to act upon, because we cannot have nurses who are, found in breach like this. It runs counter to the profession. So that's another avenue. And of course, if they're guilty, they would not be working with the ministry anymore.
Guyana has been fighting the COVID-19 pandemic with vaccines, but has also found itself fighting vaccine hesitancy, as many persons have opted not to take the vaccine. It was discovered that many of them have instead decided to purchase fake vaccine cards.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union is gearing up to take industrial action against the COVID vaccine mandate. SVG TV has more.
We are expecting that the teachers will come out in the numbers, both unvaccinated and vaccinated, and we want the parents also to join us. The parents and the students. I know some schools now doing exams, but we could put the exams on hold for just those 2 days and do it after. Want everybody to support the teachers in this very important, crucial time. All the taxi drivers, the van drivers, the fisher folk, the farmers, the other trade unions, the rest of civil society. Now is the time to rise up and to stand with the teachers of the nation.
Antigua and Barbuda quite willing to present a revised proposal to the U.S. government on its WTO ruling 16 years ago. More in this ABS News report.
It's been 16 years since the World Trade Organization's award in favor of this country, and Washington has not budged an inch in paying. Now, Antigua and Barbuda is set to make a major move to secure a resolution. The government signaled its intention during the recent visit of the U.S. Ambassador Linda Tagliatella, as well as another official of the U.S. State Department.
We would have indicated to them that, we will extend a new offer in the new year, which will be significantly less than what we're pursuing. I think there's a difference in the interpretation in terms of the liability. They have the view that the liability was capped at the $23 million US. We have the view that it was cumulative and that it continued to accrue each year.
Officials in St. John's are of the view Washington owes well over $200 million US based on the interest which has accrued. With no movement on this issue, Prime Minister Brown says his government will be moving decisively to engineer an amicable resolution.
We will look at the language again and get some legal advice and put forward a revised proposal early in the year, and I'm hoping we can bring this matter to a close as soon as possible.
He says his government does not want to have an antagonistic relationship with any country, large or small. The head of government is making it clear differences with the United States should not be construed as inherent animus. He made reference to another issue years ago, which had been a lightning rod of controversy and threatened to open up a diplomatic fault line between the two states.
You'd recall some years ago when the United States published in its INSA report certain derogatory information about Antigua and Barbuda, and even its human rights report. We publicly defended Antigua and Barbuda. We have an obligation so to do. And as we said, the United States, even though they may have been offended by the fact that there was a pushback, they have to understand that we can't just sit back and allow them to inadvertently damage the image of the country using false information. But again, there's never any sustaining hostility, just a matter of differences that, over time will always resolve themselves.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
A political analyst in Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Winford James, said the people of Tobago do not want secession, as was suggested. Rather, they want to manage their own affairs. More in this TTT news item.
People are staying in the union, but they do want equality of status, and they do want to be able to determine their own way of life. But within the whole.
Speaking on Morning Show, Dr. James said it would be interesting to see the relationship between the soon-to-be-appointed members of the new assembly and the central government. He said questions may arise about the allocations given to the THA in relation to its development plans.
A lot of discussion, and it's going to be heated often, I think. I don't think that's avoidable, but at the end of the day, we have to have a resolution of the differences that separate the PNM and the PD.
Mr. James said both parties are experiencing a new era in politics.
Trinidad and Tobago's Minister of National Security, meantime, Fitzgerald Hines, says steps have been taken to protect the members of the prison service. The minister shared his views on the matter during the funeral service of murdered prison officer on Tuesday. Terrian Brown Campbell tells us more in this TTT news report.
Scores of mourners turned up at the funeral service for slain prison officer 38-year-old Michael Jones in Siparia on Tuesday. Mr. Jones was shot dead while holding his daughter's hand 1 week ago in the same area. In attendance was National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines, who described the incident as an act of terrorism.
The team has been set up and its sole purpose, 24 hours a day, is to protect the men and women of the prison service around the country where they live in conjunction with the police and the defense force.
The National Security Minister said special training is also being provided by the police to prison officers to assist them in defending themselves.
And as we speak, ladies and gentlemen, there are police officers and members of the defense force working in lockstep with the prison service inside the prison and outside the prison as we pursue those who brought this pain.
Minister Hines promised Mr. Jones's family and the prison service that all the elements of the National Security Ministry would be utilized to ensure that justice will prevail. Terry Ann Brown-Campbell, TTT News.
Important and timely changes are coming to make it easier to conduct business in the financial sector in Barbados. Barbados Today has more.
Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Rain Strong, says a national payment system will be introduced to ensure transactions from different institutions can be done instantaneously.
We're transforming this whole thing, Mr. Speaker, because whenever you make a payment, sir, the payment should be credited to whoever account you're credited to, such that whether there's a bank holiday, sir, as you know, sir, if there's a bank holiday, you know, when you have bank holidays in and it's a Monday, but the payment's still due the Monday, technically, because that's how it's programmed. Now, of course, one would have to go in and do an override thing because the bank is closed on a Monday, right? The transaction then is credited on a Tuesday. So too much complicated programming, too much intervention, sir, with respect to all of this, and therefore, that is what we are working towards with respect to the national payment system in terms of ensuring that all of the payment service providers have the infrastructure in place to ensure that payments happen in real time. So there's no need to lag, you ain't getting a batch of transactions to go through, and all of that will be a thing of the past. So that it don't matter whether the bank open or not, sir.
Conveniently located in the Grandand Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Granans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.